From the first moment I met my wife, I knew there was something profoundly unusual about the dynamic she shared with her mother. At first, in my inexperience and love-struck blindness, I tried to convince myself that they were simply a very close-knit family, two women who unconditionally supported and cared for each other in a complex world. However, with the inexorable passage of months and, especially, during the long years of our courtship, that innocent illusion completely crumbled. I realized, with a mixture of deep frustration and growing anguish, that the situation was infinitely darker and more complicated than it appeared. Her mother wasn't just a demanding or overprotective figure like so many others. She was a deeply manipulative woman, fiercely controlling, and gifted with an almost theatrical ability to disguise her pathological need for absolute attention under the immaculate mask of maternal concern. It was an emotional web patiently woven with threads of guilt, victimization, and emotional blackmail. For years, our relationship was constantly under siege, marked by an endless series of manufactured crises and false alarms that always, as if by magic, surfaced at the most inopportune moments for us. There were dark periods of supposed infidelities on my part, absurd phantoms she herself invented and whispered in her daughter's ear to sow the seeds of doubt. There were countless intentionally planted misunderstandings, small phrases taken out of context or twisted to create discord and keep us on the brink of breaking up. The most special moments of our life together, from our anniversaries to my promotions at work or simply a romantic dinner we planned on a Friday night, were invariably ruined because Mom isn't feeling well, Mom is having strange heart palpitations, or Mom urgently needs you to come to her house because she feels too lonely and is terrified of the dark. In a desperate attempt to be the understanding son-in-law and the strong pillar of the relationship, I never openly opposed her demands. I swallowed my frustration and silenced my anger because I didn't want to be the executioner who put the woman I loved in a difficult position. But the pain, the injustice, and the resentment silently accumulated, eroding my patience drop by drop. Despite the constant turmoil and systematic sabotage, our love prevailed, and we finally married a few months ago. The wedding, which we had planned with such excitement, effort, and financial sacrifice, was an objectively beautiful event, filled with lights, flowers, and promises of a bright future. However, even on that day, which by right should have been the happiest and most exclusive day of our lives, her mother couldn't bear the thought of not being the absolute center of attention. Right in the middle of the elegant reception, just minutes after we had shared our first emotional dance as husband and wife, the drama began. She began to say aloud that she suddenly felt ill, dizzy, extremely weak, short of breath, and with a dangerously racing heart. My wife, terrified and conditioned by years of manipulation to fear the worst, immediately left her own celebration. She spent almost the entire wedding evening sitting beside her in a secluded chair in a corner of the room, holding her hand and comforting her, while the woman sobbed dramatically, lamenting to anyone who would listen that nothing would ever be the same, that she felt cruelly abandoned, and that she would now be completely alone forever. Despite the impotent rage seething inside me, I tried to maintain my composure and swallow my words. I thought, trying to convince myself, we're married now, the bond is sealed, we live together under our own roof, things will inevitably be different starting tomorrow. But I was so wrong. Absolutely nothing was different. The real and most agonizing hell broke loose when we naively tried to enjoy our honeymoon. That trip, meticulously planned months in advance, paid for with our savings, and fueled by the hope of finally having some peace and quiet, became an unattainable mirage. It was postponed time, and again due to an improbable series of medical emergencies for his mother, afflictions that mysteriously healed or stabilized the exact moment we canceled our reservations. The final straw that broke the camel's back, the moment my spirit was on the verge of shattering beyond repair, happened quite literally on the way to the airport. We were already at the terminal, about to check our heavy suitcases, passports clutched in our hands, and hope shining for the first time.